Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to episode 64 of the Rainbow Bridge. My name is Rena Dwelly. I am a master dowser, master geomancer, and spiritual alchemist. And I assist beautiful souls all over the world in welcoming abundant health, wellness, success, and happiness into their lives. We have an eclipse event happening tomorrow. So I just want to ask you to check in with yourself and ask how you're feeling. How do you really feel? And that's kind of what this eclipse is all about, as it's a penumbral eclipse tomorrow at 11:21 a.m. Pacific time. I took good notes. And what this means is it occurs when the outer part of the Earth's shadow, known as the penumbra, blocks some of the sun's light from reaching the moon, and this creates moon shadowing. Now, because this happens in Cancer, Cancer is all about feelings and water and nurturing, and it is actually the moon rules Cancer. So that should give you a heads up. You might be feeling it double strength. I know that even though I've been really good about making sure that my meditations are on point, that I am in sacred space personally, I have been feeling some stuff, and I've had some physical stuff as well. So if I look a little tired, I've been on antibiotics. I'm on my second round and I'm finally feeling better. So just know that some weird things might be happening. Totally normal. We'll get through this, I promise. So tomorrow, 90% of the moon's surface will be partially covered. And this eclipse is going to last for 4 hours and 5 minutes. Now, I'm in the western part of the world in the United States, so I'm probably not going to be able to see this. It's going to be visible from parts of the world like Asia, Europe, Australia, and Africa. So, and because this is happening during the daytime where I live, it'll happen at 1:21 p.m. Central Time. I'm probably not going to feel or see it, but I am going to feel it. And just because we can't see the eclipse doesn't mean that we aren't experiencing the effects very prominently. Now, because the moon is going to affect nurturing organs. And I like to refer to this triad as like the nurturing triad. So it's going to affect breasts, bladder, and feet. And kind of how I put this together, this is part of polarity therapy, by the way. You think of a mama walking her baby, rocking her baby, feeding her baby, giving birth to her baby. These are all the things that will be affected. Now add in mucous membranes. So you hear them a little stuffy. Partially dry air. I'm partially blaming the moon too. Because I can. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that's kind of what's happening. Now, this full moon eclipse is also known as the wolf moon eclipse. Now, this was named after Native Americans because way back when they would hear the wolf packs outside of their villages at night crying for food. Now, this is also where I want to invite you to do a little exploration. Now, this is kind of fun. This is something one of my teachers taught me. Instead of looking up the definition of what a totem animal might mean to you, perhaps you can go on YouTube or watch a nature video or something, whatever calls to you, and look up how the wolf lives. Just pay attention to patterns, how it lives its life, what it eats, and then reflect this back to how it makes you feel, how it relates to your life. So some really good prompts to ask yourself or journal about would be, what are you hungry for? Wolf Moon, what are you hungry for? And what are you willing to do to attain that? Another really good one that came up from my guides. Are you surviving or are you thriving? That is a really on-point question that you can ask yourself. I know a lot of us can get caught up in the events that are happening around the world. We get caught up in people's emotions. It is so, so important to make sure that you are protecting yourself energetically in some way. Because a lot of us, whether you want to admit it or not, are very empathic. And that means that we feel everything. We feel other people's emotions. We feel their thoughts. We feel the trees' thoughts, the animals' thoughts and feelings. I mean, everything. It just kind of comes at us. So I highly encourage you to make sure you are doing some form of either meditation or something to create a sacred space around you, some perfect little bubble that can just keep you safe and protected. This eclipse is obviously going to create an imperfect alignment between the sun, the moon, and the earth. Now, this may throw off your feelings, we were just talking about this, of being comfortable in your power and facing phases of your shadow that you might not quite be prepared to face yet. But this is necessary for your journey. And this is what eclipses are all about. Because this is already creating a shadow on the earth, it's almost like it's creating an illusion. You have to dig a little deeper. So you might have these thoughts, these feelings, these unexplained body things happening, and it's asking you to dive deeper to discover the root. Now, this eclipse occurs in the astrological sign of Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it focuses its attention on feelings. My goodness, I'm sorry, guys, my throat. Because of this, I recommend taking it easy, making time for extra time. This is going to save you a lot of stress. And a lot of times when I'm in a hustle and a bustle, and I'm always early, seriously, I'm always early. But if I'm one of these people, if I'm 15 minutes early, that's a little bit late for me. So I just try to make time for the extra time, you know, just in case you might need to tie your shoe or something. You never know. Scheduling downtime. This is so important because this moon, this eclipse, is all about nurturing yourself. It is very, very important to make time to, even if it's just 5 minutes, take a chance on yourself. You deserve it. Meditate, listen to some soft music. Perhaps you take a bath, whatever you want to do. I highly recommend the self-care rituals, and this reverts back to what we just talked about, scheduling a little bit of downtime for yourself. Heck, sometimes I'm so busy at the end of the night, you just take your shoes off and put a little lotion on your feet. Stay grounded. Eat well. So important. Again, this moon is all about nourishing yourself, making sure that you are fed and that your satiety levels are level. It's really all about self-care. Drink plenty of water. Again, because this is affecting your mucous membranes, you want to keep that flow going. Oh yeah, it's been very interesting energy for sure. For your full moon ritual work, I know some of you really like to do this stuff. Do work that nurtures your goals. So what can you do? You've planted this garden. This is kind of, the new moon is all about planting your garden. And then building up, you need to nurture and care for it. And this is where you're going to do things to support your hopes, dreams, and goals. You're going to start harvesting a little bit because you're already aligned with that frequency. So another really good thing that came forward to share with you guys, it is so important to loosen your grip on the outcome of your manifestations. And by this, I mean controlling what it looks like, when it's going to happen, how it'll happen. Sometimes those details aren't for us to know. And we have to kind of loosen our grip on that. Maybe we asked for a pink sports car to arrive on January 10th at 12:22 a.m., you know, just whatever. Maybe it's not going to happen at that specific time. Maybe it'll happen a minute or two later. Sometimes we need to just align with that frequency, nurture that, and move forward. Release those hardcore details on what your manifestation is going to look like. And that's kind of important because the universe might have something better for you. Maybe that pink sports car wasn't for you, but maybe the black one is. Does that make sense? All right, some really awesome things to do to support your energy during this time. Take a sea salt bath. You can actually use sea salt that's in your kitchen, very inexpensive. Go to the store, get one of those, I don't know, bigger containers. 1 cup of sea salt and 1 cup of baking soda in a nice warm bath. This is actually aura clearing. And when you get out of that bath, you're going to feel squeaky clean. It's amazing. Your skin feels so good. It is just soothing. If you want to give it a little boost, you can add a drop of lavender oil. Again, that is also aura clearing. So beautiful suggestion. Space clear. However you might do this. I use colors, color frequencies to space clear my home. If you guys look up some of my older videos, I have space clearing stuff that I've done. If you want to tune into something like that. We have sage, rosemary, things like cedar, whatever it is that calls to you. There is no wrong way. Some people clap. Some people ring bells in the corners. A lot of my friends use alchemy keys and will just sweep energy out. I have a crystal pyramid that I like to use to assist in space clearing, listening to music. There are so many amazing ways. And if you just do a quick online search of space clearing ideas, I'm sure some really cool things will happen and pop up for you. And you'll have tons of fun, I promise you. Meditate. This is so important. And I really, really stress meditation. It is so good for your soul that it's also an amazing way to lend energy to your hopes, dreams, and goals. Again, say I planted that garden on the new moon, just sending energy, feeding those goals. You can send them colors, perhaps words, whatever it is. You can just imagine nurturing those plants that are your goals. It's beautiful. It really is. All right. Play and listen to music. Raise your vibe and align with the vibrational frequency of music. This is such a beautiful tool and a really good way to just boost yourself, your vibe. And when it's all energy, right? So when we align with the frequency of our goals, like say we're here and our goals are at this frequency, just doing those little tasks, meditation, listening to music, eating well, taking care of yourself, lending energy to your hopes, dreams, and goals, these all assist in aligning with the frequency. So this is where the law of attraction comes in, the quantum universe. This is amazing. I love quantum physics for this very reason. But yeah, I mean, you align with that and then you're able to welcome that into your life. It becomes a reality for you. And once you know that you are capable of that, anything and everything is possible. You remember that. That's your important lesson for today. Some journaling would be awesome. Or some people like to draw. Some good prompts to use for your journaling techniques tomorrow. I feel, I nurture, I release. I feel, I nurture, I release. And even if you do all three of those together, it would be perfect. Maybe you even want to talk about what the wolf means to you when you journal. You know, that might be a good idea too. We talked about the wolf totem. Charge your crystals. That's always fun to do in the full moon energy. Now, sometimes when eclipse happen, people don't necessarily resonate with that energy too well, so they'll choose not to charge their crystals in the moonlight during the wild eclipses. This one, I feel like it's okay for me. So do check in with yourself, check in with your crystals, and see if it's good to charge them. I'm not going to tell you either way, because there are some times when people will charge them that I don't resonate with that moon energy, so I hold back in charging them. Make moon water. That is something super, super fun. All you do, take some water in a jar. You can put a crystal in there or set a crystal next to it. Say a little blessing over it. Set your intention for the water. Place it in the moonlight. Now, I live in North Dakota. It is freezing cold out. So I would just put it in a windowsill. You can use this to clear your tools, clear homes, little corners. You can drink it. You can bathe in it. There are so many uses for moon water. Now, a few years ago, I had ran into an old friend, and I was telling her, I don't know, full moon, new moon, whatever it was, I'm going to make some moon water. And she goes, I like to make moon tea. I do too. I love sun tea. So moon tea is just like sun tea, only you set your jar out in the moon, in the moonlight. Give it a charge, give it a blessing, and then just drink it up, and you will feel amazing. And you can also take baths in there, like black tea, depending on what kind of tea you use. I usually use black tea, but again, there's so many different teas. That is, it has tannic acid in it, so it reduces inflammation. People always wonder, oh, geez, I have such terrible allergies in the summertime, or like mosquito bites. I'm terribly allergic to mosquito bites. So I swell up. And if my allergies are affected, my eyelids will swell up. I lay with black tea bags on my eyelids. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to open my eyes. And that usually happens harvest time, early September around here. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite secret weapons of the natural health world. Make a nurturing meal. That is my last tip for you today. Because the moon is about nurturing, healing, and loving, you can easily infuse a meal for yourself and your family with love. And literally, how do you do this? You just stir it and imagine that you're stirring your food with love. Your intent is such a big and powerful and moving force that you will be able to taste the difference. And I was actually telling my friend, I don't necessarily go out and eat a whole lot anymore because I can taste the energy. I know that sounds ridiculous. I'm not that picky, but you can taste when somebody has had a really crappy day, or they're in a bad mood, or they don't want to be there, and they make your food. Like, it's just not right. You know what I mean? Versus when my mom makes me a home cooked meal, I can taste that that's made with love. Does that make sense? That is such an easy thing to do. Nurture your home. You can wash the doors with like rosemary water, sage water, lavender water. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Anything you can do to nurture yourself, nurture your home, nurture your family. These are where you want to spend your energy. So yes, mint tea would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And mint is actually really awesome for prosperity work. So that is a good suggestion. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for you. Stay well and healthy. Enjoy this beautiful eclipse energy that is coming forward. Thank you all for joining me today. And I will see you next week. May your day be filled with love, light, and magic.